Hey, have you heard of gambling? Gambling, but like in video. Gambling in video games. A study by David Zendel showed that of 124 unique games surveyed on mobile platforms, 56% contain loot boxes. Though this may be for mobile platforms, it still indicates that gambling in video games is surprisingly common. What do I mean by gambling in video games? The idea relates directly to loot boxes. Those character banners, card packs, paying money for an unknown item from a pool of items, that's a gambling in the video games. Bringing up other perspectives on the matter, trying to save money through gambling is a primary incentive for interacting with the gambling mechanics. Some companies have gone so far to sacrifice their quality of gameplay in exchange for the effectiveness of said gambling mechanics. These quotes and more lead to the statement, gambling-based game mechanics in video games exploit their player bases. Some terms that'll be relevant here are gambling, spending money for a chance at a reward, video games, games played on electronic devices, and addiction, a condition of compulsive attachment to something. Gambling-based game mechanics have been around for a while now. 20-ish years with MapleStory's implementation of Gachapon machine for various items. Other older games with gambling-based mechanics include Team Fortress 2 on PC with their crates, also for cosmetic items, along with Puzzles & Dragons with Gachapon built in on release to acquire monsters to use in battle. One counter-argument to the statement of players being exploited is that one could just not spend the money on said mechanics. The issue has to do when interacting with the gambling-based mechanics is the primary form, if not the only form of progression to the game. Oh, and another perspective quote to shed some light on the argument quotes as a whole. There is not enough information on this topic. Games with gambling mechanics use psychological strategies to draw in and exploit their player bases. Something that companies do is to make an in-game currency that is used exclusively to purchase in-game items. Whether the currency used to interact with the gambling-based mechanics is its own thing, or one of multiple currencies, the goal is to obfuscate how much money you're actually spending. By adding layers between what you're spending and what you're receiving, a company is able to draw just a little bit more profit. Just think about those in-game currency packs that are intentionally try to be barely inconvenient. Gambling-based game mechanics tend to draw more profit from players who are most invested in the game, especially if said mechanics offer rewards based on a rarity system. If the game is worth playing, there are people that will gladly spend a lot of money for a chance at a reward, should said reward be the primary method of power progression. Think along the lines of character acquisition or weapon procurement. Should a game be enticing enough, a player may pay a seemingly low price for a chance at a high-value item. The problem would arise in people that keep paying for more chances of a desirable item despite the odds, especially if the spendings are obfuscated. There is a problematic link between gambling and loot boxes. Interacting with gambling-based game mechanics may lead to gambling habits, or people with gambling habits already may be enticed to interact with gambling-based game mechanics. That is to say, gambling in games or real life, it's still gambling. Children have easy access to games featuring gambling-based game mechanics, which is not helped by the prevalence of these games. Due to the ease of accessibility in games with gambling-based game mechanics, by both volume and age of acceptability, gambling habits can form quickly in children and strengthen in people who already have gambling problems. Profits gained from gambling-based video game mechanics are a result of player exploitation. Video games are able to manipulate the odds of obtaining items in the various gambling mechanics across games. This manipulation of odds can be used to keep player retention or drive a player into spending money on an additional chance at an item when the odds have been silently lowered against their favor. Through using gambling-based game mechanics, players are able to acquire an advantage over other players purely by chance, and more so should a player pay money for more chances. Such advantages typically apply in player versus player focused environments. From granting distinct advantages to use against other players to messing with the odds of getting rare rewards, players are absolutely exploitable for the means of gaining profit. To wrap things up, there just isn't enough academic information on the topic of gambling in video games. The core concepts are at least documented, gambling in video games is common, and is plenty capable of harm. Beyond that, the field is lacking, and it would be wonderful if more research on the topic could be done. Though, at the very least, please be mindful of what you're spending your money on, especially if you don't know precisely what you're going to receive.